I wish that someone had told me that lesbian sex existed, that it existed even. I had no clue that this was a way to be with someone. And so it took me way too long to figure that out. So I think even just that it existed, and then with that, and that it also is a beautiful thing, and a beautiful form of intimacy. And I think also this other thing that happened for me is that I think since I came out later in my life, really, in comparison to a lot of what, beautifully is happening for young people today. And I think that I then had sort of like this performance anxiety. I thought like I'm supposed to know how to do this, and I'm not sure I do. Like I'm really worried, and I met her, and she, we'll hear her story in a moment. But so I think like also that it was like that it's okay to not know, and that at first you don't know, but actually you do. And that you'll figure it out, and that's okay. And it's okay if it's kind of awkward at first, but you do figure it out. And then it is this incredibly beautiful thing. So the combination, that it's about intimacy.
I just wish someone had told me the first time is kind of a dud, and not to have high expectations for it, and that you can have two firsts. I had my first time with guys, and I had my first time with girls, and it could be fun, and it doesn't have to be some huge ordeal with lots of emotions. But then when you meet the right person, it's just this amazing, incredible experience, and that's a good thing.
I think, there's so many different expectations. I think, there's this other stage that really is about have fun and experiment and learn and figure out what feels good, what doesn't, what are you comfortable doing, what are you not comfortable doing, and talk about it. Like it's okay to talk your way through it, and can be, because that's the other thing is that I think this is a hard one though. It's so tricky because I think there is something that inherently, because it is an intimate thing, inherently we go into an awkwardness and then we don't talk, and we don't think we should talk because shouldn't the other person know what we're thinking, and shouldn't we know what they're thinking, and I can't ask that, I couldn't say because we're just trying to figure and yet like talk, have fun, try things, figure it out, because it's supposed to feel good, so you gotta figure that out.
It sort of took like being in lesbian relationships for me ever to feel sex positive, which is like awesome in its own way, but it also feels sort of a little bit messed up. Like, why couldn't that have happened? Like it seems like that would be such an awesome, wonderful thing for your parents or like your friends even, or like relatives at all, or someone like teachers, I don't know, like someone to be giving you that idea that like sex can be like a positive emotional and physical thing for you, rather than just this like messed up thing that's going to happen to you and like be done to you and all of these things. So that's how I feel. Okay.
What I would rather have not been told, which was I feel that maybe I have, because we didn't really talk about it very much, so it was actually fine. I figured it out for myself. It wasn't sort of a big conversation, but I would say that I was pretty scared of the emotional damage that would happen to me after I had it. So it was sort of like,
Joe's Catholic.
Go ahead. But, it could be devastating, sort of, emotionally. The ties that you make with that person will last for years, and you will carry their baggage. So,
I think my answer is a little more simple. I wish somebody brought out actual, models, dildos, something of what penises look like. And somebody telling you they don't all look the same. There's also ones that are uncut. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Freaky. It's true.
It is true.
Okay, I feel like sort of my first memory of thinking about sex and thinking like this is what it's going to be like is I have two sisters, and so a lot of my information came from my older sister, which is super damaging and terrifying. And my parents like never talked to me about it at all. And I remember she used to draw these pictures of like two stick figures just like laying like this, like totally flat on top of each other. And I remember thinking like this really devastating moment of being like 12 and thinking like, wait a second, because someone at school, like we always talked about erections and everyone was like, oh my God, this comes out like this. And I remember thinking like, what? How is that gonna, because like thinking like, but the hole is like in the middle, not on the top, and thinking like, that's not gonna work. And then thinking that like, I was personally deformed and that really sucked. So,
just joking.
Just because you're done doesn't mean they're done.
Slow down. Slow down. Maybe like it's okay to be afraid, because everyone is. Sounds depressing.
No, that's good. No,
I guess like blanket statement, I wish someone had given me like really positive examples of how sex can be like a good positive thing that doesn't have this like huge amount of weight on it. You know, like it could just be you being yourself, and like it doesn't have to be a specific way. Like I wish someone had told me that it was like a expandable category.
yeah. I guess I wish someone had told me that it could, as long with being some risks there, which I think there are, we have to talk about, but that it also could just be a really great thing, a really idea of like two people sharing something about themselves and how it's actually just a really positive thing. That would have been nice. Yeah.
I wish somebody told me, like, I guess your first time it's not the rest of your life, you know? The first time is it's the first time, you know? It's not gonna anyway mold anything. I mean, unless it was awful, then good luck. No. But it's just, you know, the first time's first time. You know, it's not gonna be like that every time.
Yeah. Amen.
I wish somebody had told me that the first time
That's what I was gonna say.
it's not that good.
That's what I was gonna say. There's a
Nope.
lot of like the perfect moment. It's gonna be wonderful.
The perfect
when you really,
moment doesn't. It's not.
when you really
perfect.
love someone, fuck that. No, seriously, it's not the ideal.
It hurts.
It's awkward. kind of.
Very awkward.
Yeah.
Because it kind of like, if you don't, for girls, if they don't lose it the right way, then it becomes this like
a lot
very
of pressure.
depressing thing. And I think
Yeah.
that's kind of wrong. I don't think there should be some kind of like pressure that makes you feel like if you don't do it right, you're gonna regret it.
Yeah.
It should be something that you're happy with and comfortable with, and having that pressure is very uncomfortable.
Yeah, I think to sort of go off of that, I think that there are a lot of mixed messages. You know, you get opinions from everyone and from every direction. There's a lot of talk about it. There's a lot of, you know, ideas and people's like ideals being thrown at you. And it's very hard to know what is right for you and what seems right. And it feels like there are a lot of opinions, and it's very hard to decipher your own when you are hearing everyone else.
I guess I wish somebody said,
I mean, there's sort of
do it because you want to.
Yeah, exactly. There's an overriding principle of like, do what, a general like fundamental of life is like, do what feels best and what feels right. And people love telling you that about a lot of things, like
And-
where you go to school.
Well,
and what
also-
you know, there's a lot of do what feels right. But at the same time, here's this one construct.
You find
where-
yourself convincing yourself that this is the right time, and that's not what it is. It's like, you need to be going, I think I want to do this. Okay, I'm going to do this on your own, and not having like a friend in the back of your mind be like, you want to, or the media for that matter being like sex is the right time. This is the right time. How old are you?
Like I formed this checklist in my mind. Like, all right, got to get smashed at a party, got to get laid at a party, all before I go to college. You know, amongst other
the
things.
college is a deadline. It's sort of
Except for going to school. This is what surprised me. Like when we got to school, a lot of people were virgins, which surprised me. It was like I expected to go to school and be like, oh, I'm sorry. And it turns out everybody, so many people were virgins. And that was a surprise to me, which is, I think, I just think that not mentioning sex in schools is like a really wrong thing, because it's like, it's to completely avoid the subject is not going to help it, because there's plenty of girls whose families don't talk about it, and then these are the biggest sluts I know, to be like perfectly blunt. They're the ones
Yeah, no, it's the parents who avoid it and the parents who are absent in their children's lives.
who act as though it doesn't exist, like sexuality does not exist.
I also think a lot of people choose to discuss it in the aftermath. You know, you wait until parents at, you know, a weekly tennis match hear about so-and-so, and then they bring it up. You know, it's all like an afterthought, maybe, to have an opinion, I guess.
I wish my dad had been like, yo, the first time sucks.
No, that's an overriding.
Yeah.